It has been a very bad month for Disney and for Bob Chapek, and yesterday it got a whole lot worse as a virtual meeting between Disney executives leaked out there. And what do you know? Activists at this company are actively promoting woke ideology towards their audience. That is their goal, that is their purpose. And when you hear them talk about it, it is creepy that this is what they want to promote, that this family-friendly Disney brand, the things that they want to push. Disney executives admit they are pushing a, quote, not at all secret gay agenda. That's an actual quote that we're going to hear from this leaked Zoom meeting. Actively removing gendered greetings and a whole lot more. And something interesting, I don't often listen to anything from Salon, but I thought this headline kind of does tell it all. Hashtag boycott Disney, how Disney's new CEO has managed to anger both sides of the culture war. And it's true. Because now you have two sets of people saying hashtag boycott Disney. It was literally trending for like 24 hours after this got released. Because obviously there are so many people that are very against identity politics, very against woke activism in their entertainment. Those people are very pissed off. But the other group of people who are mad and who want Disney to do more and do better are the woke activists. They've been talking about that for weeks as the Florida Parental Rights and Education Bill, which is now officially a law, was put in place because Disney didn't do enough over it. It has been laughable, the response from the woke lunatics. But now you have two different sides of the culture war, mad at Disney and mad at Bob Chapek. But let's get into this here. It's becoming more clear why LGBT activists are angered at the idea of having less access to your children. The war between Disney and the state of Florida has been raging on for weeks, ever since the state announced Florida's Parental Rights and Education Bill that bans the teaching of sexual orientation and gender identity to students in kindergarten through third grade. This is nothing to do with gay people. This has nothing to do with homosexuals, nothing. That's not in that bill. Simply stated, the school is not to instruct students, kindergarten through third grade, on any type of sexual orientation or gender identity. That's it, bottom line. This protects all children to make sure that the state is not propagandizing them, to make sure the state is not indoctrinating them while they're there. That's all this is. For the people that want to make this out to be an anti-gay law, you're putting that on there. You're saying that if all of a sudden we can't talk to children about this, then that must be anti-gay. Interesting tactic to take. The bill's been labeled as an anti-grooming bill by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' press secretary, Christina Pushaw. I really like her. While opponents have labeled it the Don't Say Gay bill. They've falsely labeled it that. During a virtual staff meeting among Disney employees and executives, the president of Disney General Entertainment Content, Carrie Burke, and others admitted to having a not-so-secret agenda to push gay and queer content in programs targeted to children. Now, this was all done by Christopher Rufo, who's done a lot of stuff like this before, specifically about Disney and their Reimagine Tomorrow program, but he did a lot of this work. We're going to listen to some of this right here. This is Disney corporate president, Carrie Burke.
I'm here as a mother of two queer children, actually, one transgender child and one pansexual child. And
just to be clear, we'll stop it right there really quick. The fact that there's someone who wants to be an activist, that wants to put more of this programming out there for Disney's audience, for Disney's family audience, happens to have a transgender child and a pansexual child, that should tell you a lot right there.
And also as a leader. And that was the thing that really got me, because I have heard so much from so many of my colleagues over the course of the last couple of weeks in open forums and through emails and phone conversations. And I feel a responsibility to speak, not just for myself, but for them, to all of us. We had an open forum last week at 20th where again, the home of really incredible, groundbreaking LGBTQIA stories over the years, where one of our execs stood up and said, you know, we only have a handful of queer leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And
why can that not be true? Do you have any idea what percentage of the population the LGBTQ plus IA, whatever community makes up? I would say a handful is about an accurate description. Yet you're mad that only a handful of queer leads have been in Disney's programming. Weird. It's almost like you want over representation, which she's about to get to.
I realized, oh, it actually is true. We have many, many, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories, and yet we don't have enough leads and narratives in which gay characters just get to be characters.
That will never happen. It will never happen that a gay character just gets to be a character. You guys make sure of that. There's a freak here that talks a little bit later about you can't just have them be a character, because if they were a character, no one would ever know that they were trans or bi. You have to make that part of their story. And
not have to be about gay stories. And so that's been very eye-opening for me. And I can tell you, it's something that I feel perhaps had this moment not happened, I as a leader and me as my colleagues would not have focused on. And going forward, I certainly will be more so. I know that we will be. And I hope this is a moment where, shoot, the 50% of the tears. She's crying. Sorry, are coming. We just don't allow.
And later on in this, just to be clear, later on, she actually states that she supports having many, many, many LGBTQ characters, wants a minimum of 50% of characters, a minimum, to be racial minorities and LGBTQIA. Certainly doesn't sound like they're a minority once you get above 50%. That's strange, isn't it? But since we brought it up already, you can't have characters that just exist as characters. Listen to another person. Disney production coordinator Alan March says his team is committed to exploring queer stories. Here you go.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of working with the Moon Girl team for the last 2 years, and they've been really open to exploring queer stories. And I'm on the production side. Part of the work that I feel like I can put in is making sure that we take place in modern day New York. So making sure that that's like an accurate reflection of New York. So I put together like a tracker of our background characters to make sure that we have like the full breadth of expression. And we got into a very similar conversation, Carrie, of like, oh, all of our like gender nonconforming characters are in the background. And so it's not just a numbers game of how many LGBTQ plus characters you have. We got the further, the more centered a story is on a character, the more nuanced you get into their story.
It will never be enough. It doesn't matter if you add a character, if you add a gay character, if you add a black character, like whatever they're asking for, whatever the quota needs to be, that will never be enough. That'll always be something else. Well, you have a character, but they're not important enough. They will not be happy. The activists will not be happy ever. You can make every single character exactly what they want. They will find some other way to be victimized.
And especially with like trans characters, you can't see if someone is trans. There's not one way to look trans. And so kind of the only way to have these like canonical trans characters, canonical asexual characters, canonical bisexual characters is to give them stories where they can like be their whole selves.
There you have it. You can't. They will not write a character that's just a character and happens to be gay or happens to be trans, happens to be bi, whatever. You have to write this character so they can display their sexuality. We're talking about children's movies. We're talking about things for kids, things for families. They want to indoctrinate your children. Some of these people, that's exactly what they want to do. This didn't stop there. I've obtained video from inside Disney's all hands meeting, in it which executive producer LaToya Ravano says her team's implemented a not at all secret gay agenda. Let's listen to her. More Disney executives.
It's like, I love Disney's content. I grew up watching, all of the classics. They have been a huge, informative part of my life. But at the same time, I worked at small studios most of my career, and I'd heard, you hear whispers. I'd heard things like, oh, they won't let you show this at a Disney show. And I'm like, okay. So I was a little sus when I started. But then my experience was bafflingly the opposite of what I had heard on my little pocket of Proud Family Disney TVA.
Yeah, once I got here, I realized, they let you do anything you want. They let you program children however you want. It's no problem.
The showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like
that's what I mean right there. She's being serious. My not at all secret gay agenda. She has a gay agenda. This is not about creating stories. This is not about creating entertainment. This is about agenda. She fucking admitted it right there. It's about a not so secret gay agenda that they are trying to put into children's programming. What are we talking about? Like, how can there be any rational human being that still sits here and denies what's happening with these executives?
Like, I feel like I felt like it was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last, like they are turning it around. They're going hard. And then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background. Like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud of them. But like I just was like, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
Anywhere I could, I would just add queerness. So if there's a background character, they make him gay. If there's a background character, they make him trans, make him bi, whatever. That's what is happening at Disney. For the people that have been denying this forever, go fuck yourselves. They're admitting to it right here. No lies detected. And not only that, also just in the parks, despite all the things they're doing in movies, TV shows, whatever, also in the parks, this is now happening. Listen to this lady right here.
Last summer, we removed all of the gendered greetings in relationship to our live spiels. So we no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've provided training for all of our cast members in relationship to that. So now they know it's hello everyone or hello friends. We are in the process of changing over those recorded messages. And so many of you are probably familiar when we brought the fireworks back to the Magic Kingdom. We no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We say dreamers of all ages. And so I love the fact that it's
now we are at the point where ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls is considered offensive. How big a number do you think the people that are offended by that? What is the percentage? 0.1% maybe? And that's who Disney's bending over and catering to, because the people who are running it are fucking activists. They are the ones who are offended. That's why they're changing it.
It's opened up the creativity, the opportunity for our cast members to look at that. We have our cast members working with merchandise, working with food and beverage, working with all of our guest facing areas where perhaps, we want to create that magical moment with our cast members, with our guests. And we don't want to just assume because someone might be in our interpretation, maybe presenting as female, that they may not want to be called princess. So let's think differently.
Holy shit. And even still, Boycott Disney is trending. Boycott Disney has been trending. Boycott Disney will remain trending. Boycott Disney for about 24 hours has been trending, and they deserve all the backlash they get. This company is disgusting and disingenuous and liars and schemers and manipulators. Bob Chapek sat there and said, well, we don't want to get political, guys. You've already gotten political. Listen to your executives. You don't think that they have a political ideology and that they are ready to push it down your throats? Fuck Disney. This company is trying to indoctrinate people. This company is trying to push identity politics wherever they can. Not everyone that works at the company, not every single person that works in the park, but the people that are the ones making the policy decisions, you just heard them. In a meeting that they didn't think was going to get out there to the public, this is how they're speaking to each other. Disgusting. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.